Hey, in this video I'll be talking about, in my opinion, the most slept on manga in a while that you almost definitely haven't read. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, the manga I'm going to be talking about is Navigatoria. It's a Shonen Jump Plus manga that ran for just 30 chapters and lasted just over a year. And although it did get axed, the ending felt very rewarding, because it seemed that the mangaka realized that the series was going to be axed because it was just not read very much, so she quite quickly began heading towards the ending. Kind of. I mean, you could feel the pacing growing faster as the series slowly went towards its ending, but each and every plot point was solved, and quite great at that. The first chapter is one of my favorite first chapters that I've ever read. I mean, maybe apart from the last page, but everything from the stakes, motivation, and plot was incredible. I mean, this guy was at the top of his country as a student in studies and martial arts, because he was promised that if he managed to do that, he could do whatever he wanted for his future. And yet, the second he brought this up, they pulled out fucking guns on him and told him that he was going to outer space because the Earth Army won its first ever space war and was awarded a space colony. So they were going to colonize it, but none of the countries could decide which should own it. So they sent their most prominent, top student to it. And between them, the one who is seen as the most capable from the entire school and got the best grades would be the leader of the planet. And the country that they were representing would be deemed as the rightful owner. And this guy was going to be sent there instead of being able to do what he wanted for his future. Oh yeah, and if he failed, they would kill him. That's a pretty fucking interesting start in my opinion. Sure, it's a bit sad, but that's a pretty interesting baseline. But then there's this girl, Hina, who is his only real friend since childhood, and was his only taste of freedom? She was the only person who liked the part of him that wasn't constantly studying or training. She liked him for who he was. And it wasn't one-sided. And because of his love for her, not his corrupt country, he decided that he would become a dictator to be able to 1. Survive, and 2. Make a peaceful country, unlike where he grew up, even if he's representing them, so he could live in peace with Hina. I loved the first chapter. I was instantly hooked, and it seemed like there were 2 types of comment under this chapter. Phew, that was sad. And a solid 9 out of 10 starting. This is neat and different. I'm looking forward to this. And what did he say he wanted to become again? I wasn't interested until the last line. I'm in. And North Korea sounds like a paradise in comparison. I probably didn't explain it very well, but the opening chapter was incredible. After that, how are the main story arcs? Well, they aren't typical shonen arcs. I'd say they were more similar to arcs from Kill Blue. Just ignore the fact that it's a shonen, okay? Because while they were tied to these 4 leaders, their games to determine their ranks were completely different. I mean, this one's pretty much chess, or at least you can think of it like that, while this one's cave exploration. It's completely unique to the leaders. Despite that, I really liked essentially everything. At first, I thought that Just Like Game would be really boring because, I mean, how will you make an arc interesting out of chess? Well, the mangaka took this girl and kind of developed the arc around her, which made it so fucking interesting. She genuinely became my second favorite character in the entire series in that moment. Though after this arc, she became a bit too obsessed with Manabu, the main character. But it wasn't that bad. I loved seeing her character development, both alone and with Manabu through the arc. Then there was the cave exploration arc, which resolved maybe the biggest mystery in the entire story. Why this guy acted so badly towards this dude in particular, and why did he sometimes become super edgy? What the fuck? And not going to lie, the reason is really sad. I mean, this dude was throwing up blood every morning because this guy's country nuked Aiden's country, making the country pretty much unlivable for its citizens. And although he got treated after everyone in the class learned about his condition, as he said, that didn't help the people that were suffering in his country. It only helped him for the time being. So yeah, in short, fantastic arcs. Wish there were more. Alright, because I pretty much already started talking about this, let's finish talking about the characters. While the cast is considerably smaller than what it could have been if it wasn't axed, it is still very large and surprisingly well developed. Let's take the absolute best character in this series, Navi. She's an absolute ball of pure joy. She's the only native inhabitant of the planet the humans were going to take full control over, and she was representing her entire planet. She had the highest grades from the entire school by far, but she was being severely bullied in her class, with Manabu being her only friend. And as you could guess, they were in different classes, and they couldn't meet up very much. I mean, she was being bullied to the point that she was pushed off a cliff during the cave exploration arc. That's some next generation racism. She is so cute and innocent, and people keep bullying her. Oh shit, I'm supposed to talk about other characters too. As I mentioned before, Aiden is... the best way I can put it is two-faced. I mean, he can put on a great smile, but he holds deep hatred in his heart to this guy, as I mentioned before, so it is kind of understandable. But he was the reason that Navi almost got kicked out of the school in the second chapter, and how he tried killing Rikotan, the guy from the country who nuked Aiden's country. Though Aiden did admit that his hatred to Rikotan isn't because he hates Rikotan, but because he hates the empire he comes from, so he tried killing their representative. Rikotan is also a surprisingly really good guy. He didn't know what Aiden and Aiden's country had gone through because of his home country, and he apologized profusely and sincerely. He's a really mature character. I mean, that isn't to say he isn't violent, but he really grows with the series. Then there's this girl, as I mentioned before, and at first she was really shy and insecure, but with time, she gained confidence in the chess-like game and with Manabu, which was really, really nice to see. Now, this one's probably going to be the shortest segment, the art. The art is very clean most of the time, with some panels being very highly detailed and some being really impactful, like this one. Hina's eyes for some reason make this panel stand out so much more to me. So yeah, the art is very clean, it's not very bloated, letting the art speak, if you get what I mean. Alright, the last thing for me to talk about, why do I think it was axed? After contemplating this for a bit, my theory as to why is because at the time, the Shonen Jump lineup was stacked. I mean, Kaiju number 8 was still ongoing, Dandadan, Sakamoto Days, Oshinoko, One Piece, Chainsaw Man, Kagurabachi, and so many more were too. That people didn't really want to read a new story. I think this because looking at the chapters' response in the chapters, it is overwhelmingly positive. So I'm guessing it never really got its audience to begin with. It also could be that at the time, people wanted a lot more action and fighting rather than a slow burning with nearly no fighting story. Of course, that's just my theory. I doubt there ever will be an official reason as to why it was axed. Alright, that's for this video. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like and subscribe, and if you want to watch an almost ironically similar video to this one, where I read the chapter 1s of a lot of axed series and ranked them, feel free to watch the video that you see on screen now. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. See ya!